People who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing.
We're back. All right, shout out to Aaron Brown. See you guys later.
It was a short one this week.
This is Inane Blather. I did promise Natalie that it would be a short episode. Mm-hmm. She is sick with the coronavirus, COVID-19.
Es cierto.
It's like, Natalie, did anyone tell you that it's 2024? You can knock it off with the COVID-19 stuff.
Yeah.
They discovered that shit 5 years ago. What are you doing catching it? No, but...
For the third time.
So, despite, all the goings on, and we've already postponed this a little bit anyway, and I drugged Natalie onto the show and said, please, I want to talk to you. And the listeners want to hear you, at least for a couple minutes.
And I'm like,
because, yeah, sure. Just signs of life.
It's very real, yeah.
Because, authenticity, and through it all, in sickness and in health, we do remain...
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
I'm adjusting the sound, so sorry if I blew people's speakers out.
Like I said earlier, I felt like my headphones were going to make my head explode. And so now...
And I was like, that doesn't happen, Natalie. I don't know what your deal is.
What, because you got
You've
some
been
sort of
taking
headache?
a bunch of cough syrup? What's wrong with you?
That'd be a good idea, though. Actually, I haven't really had a cough this time. I was just saying the first time I had COVID,
just fever, huh?
Man, I had such a bad cough. But this time I've just been like,
I remember you losing your voice bad.
Tired, right? Yeah. This time I'm just like,
lethargy.
And I have like a headache, and it's kind of hard to tell because it's like, been hot. I've been busy. At first it was like, I just feel tired because I've been so fucking busy. But then it's like, I went to bed Sunday night and I had a fever, and like I definitely had a fever, and I was like, oh no. And I took the test, and pretty much as soon,
in the middle of the summer,
as soon as I put the drop on there and it started like filling it up, it was like a bold line on the positive testing thing.
Just
it was
immediate.
I did not have to wait any time at all. Yeah.
They're like, your system is pregnant with the coronavirus.
Yes.
Congratulations. It was like, do you want but please swab the next one and stop peeing on these coronavirus test kits.
Yeah, especially in the safe way. Yeah.
Even coming out of your kidneys, that is hot with COVID. So I'll try to make it a quick one. I told you I have such great experience just talking over her for 55 minutes anyway, so
you could probably do it for 30.
Yeah,
speed run.
Yeah, and already, I mean, we had to hit record because we were already doing 10 minutes of just complaining about Bo Jiden and
Mr. Bo Jiden.
Yeah, like, and you know what it tells me, all of this.
Capitalism is bad.
It stinks. This shit stinks.
Stinky.
How do we have a president that was a senator from Delaware?
It's not even a place. That's what Emily was like. That's not even a real place. There's no one from Delaware. And she's like...
Exactly.
And whenever I say that, I'm like, Joe Biden's from Delaware. She's like, what? Like, the president?
I mean, I'm no East Coaster for sure, but I'm pretty sure they say the same thing over there. I heard that on Cumtown just recently, listening to an old episode, and they were just like, yeah, Delaware. They're like, what? It's just like some speed traps, Ian Finance, and credit card companies and fraud, And
evidently like, Joe Biden.
and of course, I mean, one could easily go into all of the kickbacks and all the credit card company bullshit. There are reasons that Delaware exists for credit card companies. Like, it's crazy. And all these businesses are incorporated in Delaware and stuff. It's just, it's not even corruption at that point. It's just how capitalism works.
To be known for.
It's just one of those. Yeah, it's like, and I'm sure they have a couple of good beaches or something, and they have,
Who wants to go to the beach in Delaware? Who would even admit that? Yeah, I went on vacation. I went to the beach. Where'd you go? It was over on the East Coast.
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Maryland. They're like, you're in Maryland. It's like, I didn't go to Delaware. I didn't say you did. It's like, yeah, I went to Delaware once.
He died when baboons kidnapped and ate him.
That's what happened. That's what happens if you go to Delaware and try to go to the beach.
That's what should happen. Keep people out.
It's just the constant noise of baboons attacking and eating people and kidnappings and just people just running around just like just 24 hours a day. But no, I mean, I'm an elitist about all these shitty little places on the East Coast. Who gives a fuck?
Who even cares about them?
No, they're so important.
Yeah,
but it's just like
they're
Delaware,
so important to the credit card companies.
Yeah, Delaware itself. Yeah, I mean, you just talk to anyone from Maryland, and they'll know, and they'll be like, "My state is a shithole, but Delaware, don't catch me dead there."
I'd rather be dead in Maryland than alive in Delaware.
I'd rather be dead in Baltimore than seen in Delaware.
Yeah. Than even a rumor about me over there.
Yeah. End of the day.
Democracy simply doesn't work.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Wow. How do I not remember the Kent
Joe
Brockman?
Biden? Oh.
Jesus.
Now that's the first goddamn thing you've ever said that made one piece of fucking sense.
So, to skip over all this stuff that we already agree on about Joe Biden just
being the best.
Not a great candidate. It's like,
just
who
a
cares?
Great president.
Like,
we should make him president for life because it'll be in a couple more minutes.
Well. Yeah, he's not polling well. It's like, it's weird. Just, I mean, sometimes I feel like I just spend too much time online and I don't. True. Yeah, but because I can't describe things in a normal way, only because the online terminology really encompasses exactly what I'm going for. But sometimes, like, it's just like pure copium. It's copium from these Democratic establishment people. And I mean, just, it's always, upper middle class white people who
from
think
Delaware,
who are like, oh, well, this is, Trump is going to be so bad for all the minority groups. It's like, okay, if you actually care, then 25th Amendment, I don't know what you have to do. Biden has to step down. Harris gets up there. You get to get an exciting VP pick. Imagine if we coast through this. I was saying this the other day. We coast through this, and somehow Biden gets reelected. The Dems don't take back the House, and then Biden dies. Harris becomes president, and then who's going to be who's VP? Do they get to nominate someone, or is it the Speaker of the House goes up if the president dies? Because then.
Isn't it
Mike
the Speaker of the House?
Johnson would be the vice president. Like, good Lord. And it's not like we're saying, oh, it's so morbid, or he's old, but he can keep going. He's well past the life expectancy for an American man, especially one that spent any time in Delaware. That takes years off of your life.
And it
being
shows.
In Delaware. Yeah. You could work out every day, but if you spend time in the Delaware air, as they call it, immediately a doctor looks at you and he's like,
"You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Shut the hell up, bitch."
Like, you're going to die. No, but...
Go kill yourself. Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run over you.
The doctor says, "I hope you get cancer and die, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, exactly.
Don't quote me on that, though.
What I
Speaking
am
of
feeling
Maryland.
about Joe is like, it's just such a bad call for him to be doing this, because he would go down like in history, like if he's like stepping aside in all this whatever way, Kamala gets elected, the first woman president that we've ever had, and instead she's gonna get it by default because some old white guy dies, and then some Christian nationalist is gonna come in as her.
Like, come on.
And Joe saying that he's the only one for the job. God damn it!
You.
What a fucking white guy thing to say, Joe. I'm just imagining Hillary saying some of this thing.
Trump's already done this.
I know.
It's
such bullshit. It's such strong man, and it's like it's really hard for you to look strong saying that when you're wiping the dribbling drool from your chin, Joe.
Exactly.
Saying you're the only man for the
when
job.
You're calling your vice president Trump.
Vice President Trump, yeah. I just feel like
calling Zelensky Putin when you're introduced. Oh my God. A gaffe is a gaffe, but
and he's a gaffer
it just
for
piles
sure.
on at this time,
but
at this moment.
It just feels like he could really look whatever the word of magnanimous, whatever it is, even though it's not like he should get credit for other people winning or anything like that, but I just feel like he could look really good if he just wasn't running again. If he just, for some reason, thought that we had to have him, even though literally any other motherfucking Democrat would have beaten Trump in 2020, that doesn't matter. Fine, whatever. You guys feel like you had to step in and whatever. Fine. So then say, I did my duty, saved America, now it's time for some young whippersnapper to come in and like get things that I, just go for it. But instead, like, literally, I'm the only guy for the job. I'm the only guy, even though he himself said there's probably 50 other Democrats that could beat Trump. Yeah, there probably are. There's probably literally 100% of the other Democrats could beat Trump, because Trump is a really beatable guy. You're just making it look really hard. You're making it look really hard because you suck. Because you suck and you're old.
Trump, I think it was on Chapo or something. Chapo had a really good episode a few days ago, and they were talking about this. But they were saying, they keep acting like Trump is like this huge behemoth, like electoral behemoth and stuff. He's not hard to beat. He has they had to stage a fucking half-assed insurrection last time because they were whining so much about how badly they lost. Like, the dude is not hard to beat. He has this huge group of voters that you would think everything's hard because it's very hard to turn them. You don't have to turn. That's not how democracy works.
He's hard to beat if you're a hated candidate like Hillary Clinton. So you're going to do the same fucking thing. We already know what happens when the other candidate is someone no one wants to fucking vote for. You guys already did this, Democrats. Thank you so much. Thanks again for giving us a shitty option, you piece of shit motherfuckers. God damn it.
And it's just like...
I'm getting a fever now.
Yeah. And the only prescription is Joe Biden
Biden's
stepping
resignation.
down.
Yeah.
It's like, but to your point, though, too, I mean, number one, I just saw today, a voice on Twitter that she's a beautiful trans woman who's still been standing up for Joe Biden, but it's a little more realistic than some of them. And she says, man, if Joe Biden stepped down and said this is the right thing to do, and stepped away so that the Democrats could beat Trump, she said he would be the greatest president of my lifetime. And it's like, just imagine if Humphrey had won in 1968, how they would look at LBJ, Vietnam aside. But it's just like, yes, he stepped away, didn't think he could do it. It was all too divisive and stuff. It would all look completely different. And you know what? One thing that I wrote down, though, the blue MAGA folk, like the cult of Joe Biden, and their excuse after excuse after excuse, just trying to gaslight the normal American voter into thinking that Joe Biden is their only option.
Because that's the kind of light that was available when Joe Biden was born. That's why they do that.
Exactly.
So forget about it, cuz.
I don't know. I don't have a rim shot, so... I need to see a dick. But So their whole thing, but if they change him out, what if they can't get Harris on the ballot? The Heritage Foundation says that they're going to sue to try to keep anyone else off the ballot if they change because, the primaries have already put Joe Biden up there and stuff. It's like, this needs to stop. I mean, it's one thing to say that these Democrats, that these Democratic cult followers need to stop saying nonsense because they're politically illiterate. No, progressive voices and people that are, on board with a changing of the guard and getting someone else need to really stop this line of thinking in its tracks and put it to bed because it's not true. Like, they say, what if we can't get Harris on the ballot in all 50 states and blah, 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 blah. Like, the convention has not happened. Joe Biden is not the nominee of the Democratic Party. Like, that happens at the convention. That's the whole fucking point. And sure, different states have different rules with, having a nominee chosen like 60 days before the election, stuff like that. And Ohio, I was looking at this. It's like, okay, the biggest difference is that Ohio has like a really they extended theirs out so that it happens like before the Democratic convention. It's like August 7th would be the deadline this year for you have to have a nominee there so they can get on the ballot in Ohio. And you know what? Not only could there could be pushback that's been in the courts the past few elections, like saying, no, like you need to be able to have more time. It doesn't have to be so far out from election day. But also, fuck Ohio. Joe Biden's not going to win Ohio. Who cares? All these other ones matter, and that's not a talking point. That's not a talking point. If next week decide, you know what, Kamala is going to be running for president, whether Joe Biden steps down or the Democratic Party says, sorry, we're changing things, doesn't matter who you voted for in the primary, and you can sue the DNC all you want. Like, it's up to the people who run the party, really. But she's going to be on the ballot. Like, and just the stuff that I've been seeing online from Democratic supporters saying, well, what's your solution? None of you guys want Harris. Who's telling you this? We all are totally fine with, or even support, like outwardly, and would love, to have this opportunity to have a woman of color at the top of the ticket. Okay? That's fine. Even if it's Kamala and we disagree with a bunch of her shit. Honestly, at this point, it's like, I don't know. I disagree with less of her platform than Biden. And they're in the same administration.
If these Biden stands saw Kamala in a debate against Trump, I feel like wouldn't you just love to see her like spanking him, like how Stormy Daniels did?
Yeah.
I mean, it just really, and also
mushroom head just wiggling around like a worm out in the rain.
Yeah, if you're not on the ballot, can't they write you in anyways? And people could write her in, and there's like all these ways that. And
despite that, she would be on the ballot. We have like until August 20th to be on almost every state ballot.
Do that, like. Why can't Joe Biden? Why can't it be Harris Biden instead of Biden Harris? Be like, okay, Joe, you can still stay. You can still be you could be the vice president again.
Yeah,
and you can, if you're so important,
vice president.
Your ideas are
the
so
Onion
important.
Articles were fun.
Totally.
You get to hang out. Your only job is like to break ties in the Senate, and you get to hang out in the Senate. You love those guys, especially the racist old white Republicans.
Yeah. So like, just do that, and if we need your guiding hand, so your guiding trembling hand that can probably barely grip anything you're holding onto, then stay there. Yeah, and also, what did Joe Biden learn from Hamilton. You know who stepped down, who could have been literally president for life? George Washington is like, it's really important that we need to like move on from things, that like there needs to be this change in leadership and all this kind of stuff. And like the really dignified, thing to do when you have power that could be yours is to be like, no, this is supposed to move forward with this. It's not just about me.
Yeah.
This is about like, how our country's supposed to run. This is not like, it's not about one individual person, no matter how strongly supported he was at the time. Especially, he could have just like been president literally for the rest of his life. But he was like, no, I want to fucking retire.
There were
I'm not an
still
idiot.
founding fathers that would have been okay with having another king. They just didn't want to be under England's rule.
Yeah, they like that motherfucker.
Whoops. That's time to take my meds.
Yeah, I could use one or two of them. I'm getting flushed. I'm getting.
I don't think escitalopram will help you, but my mushrooms are kicking in, so that's nice.
That's a good idea.
But yeah,
Damn.
that needs serious pushback. Like, I don't understand how anyone's even worried about it. They're like, you can have a legitimate political discussion about throwing the party into disarray or something like that. It's like, no, all of you Biden bro freaks and blue MAGA people, you're going to vote Democrat. Why are we even talking to you about this? As if I've voted for a Democrat in the last 16 years, but
a Democrat?
We as a country, well, I mean, for president.
Oh.
But, I vote Democrat in local stuff, or representatives to no avail, but still, and for governor. but yeah, I haven't voted for a Democrat for president since Barack Obama. Because I was
Hillary.
I was in
because it
I
doesn't
remember
matter
seeing
in
on the
Washington.
TV back when I was 13 or whatever it was, being like, "What? The Electoral College? What the fuck? But Al Gore got more votes." And so from there on, it was just like, well, so maybe I'll vote a third party. But
it's not
after Obama didn't close Guantanamo Bay.
Throwing
But anyway,
away your vote
enough
in
about
Washington
me.
State. But because it is gonna, it's like you have to worry about it doing anything really if you don't vote Democrat. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I thought they say, well, a third party vote is pretty much giving a vote to Trump. It's taking a vote from Biden, giving it to Trump.
No,
it's like,
not.
no, I voted third party and I took my vote from Trump and gave it to Biden because none of that makes sense. So that's what I chose when I voted for Jill Stein.
I just feel like these blue MAGA motherfuckers, it's like literally what Joe Biden is saying, I'm the only guy for the job. It's like, you dumb bitches.
Gross.
This is what Trump says, and that's what we don't like about him, is that, among a plethora of things that we don't like. But that's something,
it was one of the worst days
Joe
in
Biden,
Gaza since the offensive after the 7th, just a couple days ago, actually. Brutal.
And
Absolutely
Joe Biden
brutal.
does a bunch of bullshit at the border and with immigration and all this kind of. He's fucking conservative piece of shit. Like his stuff. It's like, what do you care about minorities?
Man who represented Delaware.
Yeah, he's not gonna. He might not make Dreamers, DACA recipients get kicked back to their country, but people that are trying to come in, he's not great about that. He's not good at the border for someone who's a progressive, for someone who cares about human rights and stuff like that. Joe Biden is a worthless piece of shit. Gaza, our very own border, he is
not. It's like the only.
He's not doing a Muslim ban, I guess.
Who knows? I just wouldn't put it past him. But the only reason it isn't is because of the people in his cabinet and stuff, as an executive leader should be. But it's like, your only selling point here is that you don't want Trump to win. Bad campaign from the beginning. It's like, so get Harris in there. Like anything, because you still have the same selling point, you know, and you don't have a guy saying in front of millions of people, we beat Medicare, you know, and like just looking like a fucking fool.
One of the most
looking like a fool.
strongly supported issues we have in the entire nation, across all boundaries, across all cities, states, all this kind of stuff, is reproductive rights. Talking about that, wouldn't it be so fucking nice to have maybe like a woman in as the president, to for that, like crossing all party lines and stuff. People support reproductive rights. Wouldn't it be nice if it seemed like the person in charge actually gave a shit about that kind of stuff, rather than being like a half-hearted pro-lifing motherfucking Catholic that's like 1,000 years old, older than the Pope?
Exactly.
God.
Every time he like gets out of bed and he puts his feet on the cold floor, and it's just, they hear the sounds in the White House. It just sounds like...
And when he talks about, you know, reproductive rights, he's like, yeah, women getting murdered by immigrants. That's his answer to our crisis here, where, you know, actually women are dying. And thanks to these rights, you know, what? More babies are dying because of this overturning of Roe versus Wade. Like, literally, women having to give birth to babies that will die very shortly after they're born. They have things that are incompatible with life. So giving birth to, you know, maybe stillborns, or giving birth to babies that will, with 100% certainty, they will die. So they're actually driving up the rate of infant mortality. That's what's happening right now in Texas.
Yeah, true.
And there is no question as to whether or not these are babies, because they're born and then their mothers have to watch them die. What a fucking disgusting...
It's always...
Fucking disgusting.
It comes back to this weird projection stuff. But it's just like, no, you're literally making that happen. This whole, like, post-birth abortion. No, you guys are doing that.
You are killing fucking babies and making women go through this unbelievable trauma.
Because pro-choice advocates want, you know, way pre-birth abortions for when they're needed.
When we find out,
and it's like
why we have this fucking technology
to
so we can like not have to go through those kinds of things
on a platter. Like, and the thing is, and Joe Biden, he doesn't realize where it's like, oh, I'm the only one who could do it. No, it was handed to you in 2020. Like, it was the most winnable election, and it could be handed to you again. I mean, the Roe versus Wade has been overturned, and it's always been, like you said, this rock solid reproductive rights is 70% a great
of
thing
Americans.
that goes across all 50 states.
Kansas,
you know, a good talking
point
and stuff. It could overshadow. You could cynically, politically paper over all this other crap with that. You know, with a campaign. You know, you see when the GOP tries to drive the narrative. How badly they fail, you know, because of basic facts and what people want, you know, and it's like reproductive rights and something to help people put food on their table, you know, boom, you've got it in the bag because you're going up against Trump and these psychotic weirdos of the GOP. Yet he's like, I'm the only one who could do it. Literally anyone could do it other than you.
And how come? And how come we don't like you more, Joe? How come you're not so fucking strongly supported? If you're the only motherfucking guy for the job, how come we don't want to vote for you?
Low?
What? Riddle me that one.
Why aren't you just walking away with this in the polls? Because you're
at
not
least stumbling away.
Because and when it comes down to it, it's like you know, all this policy stuff. It just doesn't work for like presidential elections. And it's not even, you know, I would look at it before as being like the American people are just, you know, are dumb.
You know, tired
it's like,
of
but
women.
The average voter, you know, is uninformed when it comes to that. It's about material conditions, but it's also like, you're not even going with that. The way that this should be, where this is a leadership position, okay? Stop talking about policy and all this crap. People don't want their president to be making policy. They want them to be the head of state. They want them to be the leader and the commander-in-chief and stuff. And it's like, that's why Hillary could lose, because people didn't like her, and so anyone should have been able to walk away with that over the freaks, that were involved in the Trump campaign. I mean, and that one would have been the toughest one too, because Trump, regardless of how, we all know how hateable he is and how stupid he is and blah, 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 but he was new, and it comes down to personality, and likability, and you can say that that's a bad thing, but also it's just a thing. It's a leadership position for the entire country. It matters, and it's like, we don't like you anymore, dude. I mean, we can't look at you as a steady hand and a leader when we think you're either going to die soon or shit your fucking pants at a state dinner.
You can't be on TV after 8 p.m. Great, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's 5 p.m. Our time over here. So thanks, Joe. Really feel.
I was going to say earlier, because you'd brought up, and we started talking about abortion because of his insane remarks about it at the debate.
The worst answer possible.
Why did we have that debate? Why? In general, it just shows
how much vim and vigor he was full of.
We had a debate with a guy who isn't technically our nominee. The convention hasn't happened yet. Why is he having a debate with the GOP projected nominee before any of the conventions? The Democratic Party put so much into saying, no, this is our guy. It doesn't matter. He won all the primaries. Well, of course he did, you idiots. What are you talking about? It's just such a nightmare. They've dug themselves such a huge hole, and
our pets' heads are falling off!
And nobody is asking for it either. Everyone, it's very clear his poll numbers are low. He has not been a strongly supported president for a lot of the stuff that he's been doing, especially after something that you just can't forget, Gaza, some of this stuff where it's you're not with it. Who cares how old and senile and stupid and racist you are? Oh, wait, no. Yeah. I guess we all care about those things.
It's no, I mean, that's fine because he's a president.
Because he's American.
The presidents have all been pretty bad.
He's from Delaware.
He's an American president from Delaware via Pennsylvania.
But I feel like we just don't want him, and we just have, it's such a stupid... Oh, God, the DNC. Why do they do this to us? Literally, do you guys learn your lesson? Hillary Clinton was a candidate that a lot of people did not want. People did not feel inspired by her. People didn't want to vote. And what happened?
And she still took, what was it, almost 3 million more votes nationally. It's it just goes to show...
Another Democrat would have spanked Trump so hard we could actually be going in some direction instead of just scrambling to not fall back to the good old days of public lynchings and, gasoline baths at the border, and who the fuck else knows what's going to happen. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, if you're upset about what Project 2025 could bring, it's so do something about it. Either... Because we're already past the point of saying that well, why isn't Joe Biden and the Democratic leadership putting anything in place? We're not even talking about that. We're not even fantasizing about policy changes and stuff. We're talking about the fact that we're going to lose the election.
I actually have something that is a document or whatever Project 2025 is. I guess it's a document, but there's some other word because I'm COVID stupid right now. I can't think of all these things, but we should go over it because my boss actually introduced me to it. She's it's really good. It's in digestible pieces. It is a plan forward. It talks about no more lifetime appointments for the Supreme Court. Court. It talks about ranked choice voting and bullshit like that. All this great stuff that we could be doing if we wanted to do anything. But also, speaking of the Heritage Foundation...
Oh, I was like, that's in Project 2025?
No, it's like a response. It's a response. Not a response to it. It's its own thing, but it would be a good comparison sort of thing. Like a plan. Yeah. So what I was thinking about the Heritage Foundation,
that word sounds smart, but
is who fucking cares if they sue about Kamala Harris? Do you know how much the right cares about doing things by by playing by the rules? They don't care about that kind of stuff. Literally, they're gonna have a convicted felon for their nominee
in the House floor. Fuck them.
Totally. So just fucking do it. Just do it, guys. And France, showing us in a week's time. All this bullshit is too soon. Some countries run their elections in 2 months. They have this, you have a very quick cycle. It's not a 4-year-long slog. So every single day you're weighed down by electoral politics in the United States, wondering about electability and all the stupid bullshit. They actually just have people go out there. They run their campaigns. They have some debates. People vote and they get on with their fucking lives. God damn it.
Seems pretty satanic.
Well, when it comes down to
How do I possibly figure out this impossible riddle? Thank you, life, you asshole.
But that's the Democratic Party for you. It's either enigmas and riddles or just any successful Democrat just coming forward and saying,
I was exposed as doing a giant fraud. Death penalty. It's immediate death penalty.
So I was thinking, is this so did the common comedy pairing that I was thinking of come from a non-comedic book in Of Mice and Men? When you think of, I don't know how to explain what I wrote here, but Pinky and the Brain, the red and yellow M&M, they're like George and Lenny. There's the big dumb one, and then the guy who kind of
smartass,
that kind of pushes him around, but really loves him and wants to protect him.
Kills him eventually, Sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, after they accidentally murder the farmer's daughter.
Yeah.
It's
classic
like Ren and
M&Ms.
Stimpy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll cut it short. Oh, final thought. Get Harris in there, nominate a vice president, no Buttigieg, and not because, I think he's a
maybe if it was still Pride Month.
Liberal CIA plant, like he is, but no. Think about the names that win. Short names. Biden, Harris, Trump, Bush. Even you get the weird guy, Obama, short names, bumper sticker names, it can be something out of left field. It still has a chance of beating Trump. It doesn't have to be Newsom or Whitmer,
Though, those would be some winning ones. Maybe not two women because this is America, but...
Yeah. It'll be Harris and Stein.
Oh my god!
And they just literally just fight on national TV
Williamson?
About pulling out, pulling Israel support.
Yeah.
But Williamson. See, it's an easy name. It's too long.
Yeah.
When was it? Let's see. You go all the way back. Clinton.
Washington.
It was pushing it, but then you had Bush. You had Reagan. Ford, Nixon,
Carter,
Johnson, and look what happened to him.
Yeah, he had a big dick. Yeah,
he had a big dick. He had to step away, and he lost to Nixon. Who had the longest name back then? You know why LBJ was there? Kennedy, kind of a long name.
Yeah.
Look what happened to that guy.
Roosevelt being the exception here.
He didn't win his next election or something like that. I
don't remember. He just really fell off that car when he got shot in the head.
He really exploded in popularity, but I don't know. what he did with all of that. I don't know.
Yikes.
I don't have COVID, and you're making me feel
stupid,
foggy.
Yeah. Imagine being me.
No. No, I'd prefer not to. It'd be like
head bonk to individuals.
No. But yeah, well then I won't ask you about Jordan Peterson's ideas of hierarchies or anything like that. We can cut it short. Speaking of Jordan Peterson, I have been...
We're having him on the next episode.
Yeah, well, we'll see. You know, I don't know if we want him enough. He's been begging. Begging. He just, and it's so funny because he's trying to play coy. He ends every text message with me with
LOL.
And I'm like, okay, I get it, bro. I get it.
Bro.
But,
nice.
Oh, yeah, but I have been making my bed every day. And I thought of it the other day where I was just like,
it's a good habit.
If only that was the only thing that he was known for, you know? It's
make
like
your bed, pet the cat.
Just
those are two nice
bed.
things. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it helps me. It helps me.
You can also think.
I said it helps
what
me.
What our stepmom says is like, why do you have all these cute sheets if you're not gonna show them off? She's like, that's why you make your bed, because it's like you have this cute bedding, but if
that's
it's all
why
a mess,
I bring women back to my apartment. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's why they're like, but you don't have cute sheets. Or women back in the apartment. You have a flat sheet and a soft blanket that someone gave you because your house burned down.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
this again.
This again, and I still can't get any pussy off of it.
They're like, that's pretty pathetic.
Yeah, you smell, you reek of desperation
and smoke.
And
is that smoke?
Pity.
Yeah.
And have you showered since then? Do you need a place to stay tonight? I might have a guy friend that you can go see.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
I feel better. You're feeling better today than you were a couple days ago, though, huh?
That's true.
Okay.
That's very true.
Well, shout out to RM Brown. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to everybody.
Everybody and RM Brown, our Lord and
Not
Savior.
to imply that RM Brown listens to the show, but
he doesn't. But that's
shout
okay.
out to the muscular class.
Shout out to Humby. I feel like they haven't listened because they haven't driven over here in a while.
Well, they just need to be on the show again.
I know. That's what
so
we thought about it yesterday.
Umberto, shut up!
Boring. Shut up!
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.